What's news, Artifam? This is Artifact News coming to you with episode number 17, the Gaisai Mint Machine. Wow. The momentum, right? You can feel it. It's totally changed. It feels like we're really going in a good direction here. And granted, it's still the bear market, right? We still have almost a full year until the Bitcoin halving. So there's definitely going to be some ups and downs between now and then. But just like we talked about in the last video, it really does feel like Artifact is out here building a championship team. You know, we got Artifact, Nike, Takashi Murakami, Nvidia, Rimowa, Byredo. And just as we saw recently, you got King James out here rocking the Genesis Air Force Ones. On the way, by the way, to one of the most hyped series in a long time in the NBA. This is exactly what people wanted to see. The LA Lakers versus the Golden State Warriors. And it's a huge game. And generally when people are, when the athletes are on their way to the stadiums, they're wearing their best gear. And what's LeBron wearing? He's wearing the Genesis Air Force Ones. And I don't blame him, because that's one of the rarest shoes out here right now, right? Like, Artifact did say that they ceded LeBron James those shoes. So they gave him those shoes. But they also said that there was no contractual obligation for him to wear those. And it's not like he just wore those to Denny's or Walmart or something. He was wearing those on his way to one of the most hyped games of all time, where there's definitely going to be people all over him taking pictures to see what he's wearing on the way there. So that's huge. That was great news. That came on the heels of the Gaisai event in Tokyo, Japan. It's the Gaisai Classic, which is basically an art competition where the founders of Artifact were going to help judge the competition. But they didn't just do that. They just didn't show up. They never do that, right? They always over-deliver. And they went to the extreme next level here. And we'll take a look at it later in the video. But they put together one of the coolest marketing campaigns of all time. I mean, the billboard was, you probably have already seen it, but the billboard was incredible. Maybe one of the coolest billboards in fashion history. I think you could say something like that. I mean, it was great. It was all over the timeline. It was on the Nike Instagram. It was a clear sign for much of the NFT market that Nike was supporting Artifact. And lately there's been kind of just like this FUD virus out there where a lot of people from other collections and stuff are kind of coming at the Artifact holders saying that, Nike's not really in support of Artifact. And that kind of came out, much of that was happening after we saw the Air Force One campaign launch. And then people just started saying all of this stuff about how Nike's not really supporting Artifact. But, if you're close to the ecosystem like we are at this channel, I've always felt like Nike has been in support of Artifact. From the moment that I saw the blade on the Air Force One, that was just obviously like not only did they purchase them, so that was definitely some support there, right? But like when you see the Artifact blade on a flagship shoe, the Air Force One, sharing the spotlight with the Nike swoosh. That was a communication right there from Nike to Artifact to say, hey, we're doing this. Like, we're doing this together. This is our shoe, but you're going to be on this shoe because we're going to redefine this shoe. And they did, right? I mean, that shoe is verifiable on the blockchain. And it was designed in conjunction with Takashi Murakami, one of the most prolific contemporary artists out here. So like the technology is super progressive with the integration with the blockchain. The artist that's working on it is just like high level artist, mad respected in the fine art industry, like working on the shoe. That's pushing forward right there. So, we've seen companies like Louis Vuitton and stuff be on the Nike shoe. like with their logo all over it, right? We've seen that. But we've never really seen the badging, because the badging is very specific. That Nike swoosh badge on the side, that is the branding. So for them to share that on the insole there with the Artifact blade and the Nike swoosh, that was a clear communication of how they felt in working with Artifact, and it was always in great support, in my opinion. But for the rest of the NFT community, you can't really blame them, because it's just like Nike isn't saying a whole lot of stuff about Artifact. And then there's the Air Force One project, but then all of a sudden, boom, here's this billboard, and it's unmistakable. That is a Nike Air Force One there with the Artifact blade on it, and all of the Artifact animations and their branding elements and stuff. Like, it's right there for everybody to see. And then you got the king, LeBron James, the best athlete of all time, arguably. Serena Williams, you could say she's the best athlete of all time easily too. She's also a clone holder. But just to see LeBron rocking those like that, I think that's just, those two items right there, just getting everybody talking. And I think one way to frame it too is just to think about like Nike and Artifact almost in the same way that you could think about like Volkswagen and Bugatti. Volkswagen, they also purchased Bugatti in the similar to how Nike purchased Artifact. And what is Bugatti doing for Volkswagen? Like, why would they do that? Well, you have amazing engineers at Bugatti pushing materials, engineering, performance, luxury, taking everything to the highest limit you could possibly take it. That's what Bugatti's doing. And why is that good for Volkswagen? Because it takes a lot to get a car to 252 miles per hour. There's so many lessons learned, so many patents probably developed, and just all of this technology that is developed along the way. And when those kind of system processes and patents and technology can be passed to Volkswagen from Bugatti, so it can help make Volkswagen's popular fleet, with the Volkswagen Beetle and then the Volkswagen Bus, it can help strengthen that whole brand, but in a safe way. They don't have to take any crazy risks over at Volkswagen. They let Bugatti do that with materials, with sourcing high-level leathers and all kinds of different components and stuff to the technology and pushing everything. And then Volkswagen can just safely say, "Oh, okay, it worked. Cool. We'll try to figure out how to implement that in our Volkswagens now," right? That's how a lot of this business works. And it's really smart too, because some brands will just have a research development department that is just eating money. It's just every month, it's just payroll, eating money, craziness. This is smarter though. This is a profitable R&D. This is where your R&D is earning money for your business while they're pushing the boundaries and the limits and learning. And then they pass that to your money-making fleet. Like where the big money is at. But you don't lose money along the way because it's still a profitable endeavor. So it's just kind of working all the way around. I'm really excited about it. If I were Nike, I'd be fired up because they're in a great position. Because Artifact's going to keep pushing and just developing this out super fast in all kinds of experimental ways. And Nike can be rest assured that Artifact is going to do that. And obviously, like, they're killers at it, right? Like, they're all over all aspects of the physical and the digital, and they know exactly how to push this. So they're going to do that properly, and then Nike can just gain the lessons learned and move. But it's not like they're just going to abandon them. Volkswagen's not abandoning Bugatti anytime soon. Like, you want to keep that going for as long as you can, and just always, that's a great symbiotic relationship. So I'm excited for both of them, for Nike and Artifact. I think they're both in great positions, really, to be honest. So that's how I'm seeing it. I think that's just a different way to frame it. Maybe you have a different way to frame it. That's how I do it. So, we had LeBron, and then we had the Gaisai event. Actually, the Gaisai event was first, and then we had LeBron. But now we have the Season 1 forgeables coming out, too. So The season 1 Forge items are just hitting the timeline like crazy. Everybody's getting them and wearing them and putting it all over the timeline. I haven't got mine yet. I'm hoping next week we'll do a drip drop review if they come in for the items that I picked up. But I'm fired up, man. And I hope you got to check out the hoodie from the Artifact AR hoodie. Man, that thing is like military grade. I mean, how long is that going to last? To the year 2090, okay? Like that thing that's like armor. It's just super high quality. It feels great. It fits great. They are really pushing the luxury aspects. And as you can see with the shoes, they're trying to use materials that just no one ever uses on the shoes. Again, coming back to that profitable R&D element, right? Push, do new things, go wild with it. Keep it weird and keep pushing it so that they can bring those lessons learned over to Nike and make Nike stronger. And then they just, they could just continue to work back and forth. I think it's really exciting. So anyway, this has been kind of a long monologue here. But hey, thank you for joining me on episode number 17. I really appreciate your support. If you could like and subscribe and stuff, that really helps. We got about 184-ish subscribers. It'd be great to get over 1,000. That's kind of a milestone for the channel here. So, hey, let's do this, right? All right, so let's jump in and dive into each of these things a little bit deeper, okay? Let's go. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is take a look at the Gaisai event, break it down, and take a look at some of the things we learned from the event. All right, here we go. Okay, so this was the earth-shattering moment here that blew up the timeline. It was on the Nike Instagram. I mean, look at this billboard right here. It's incredible. Each of the shoes highlighted in their own way with a fully, highly customized 3D environment that they seem to live in here. I mean, and look at how rigorous and just like how deep the construction of each of the environments is. It's completely amazing. And you'll notice, like, anytime a Murakami shoe comes by, you'll see the Animus pop out of the Murakami sign. There he is. So what does that mean? That's pretty interesting. Oh man, I don't want to get too speculative about the Animus at the moment. Let's just take a look at this billboard. This is one of my favorite ones right here. These flowers, they almost look like balloons. It just look, whoa. Every time I see that, I freak out a little bit. That is so cool. And I love just everything about this, really. I love the border as well. It almost has like some old school like Roman Colosseum vibe to it, where they would do like the ornate relief carving on buildings and stuff. It looks like that, but like in a futuristic way. It's just killer. This might be the best billboard of all time. Seriously, like, and it's just clear to everybody in the NFT ecosystem and anybody who got to see this in the world that Nike and Artifact are in this together, working on this. And they're doing amazing things. Like, this could possibly be the best billboard, like I said, of all time. And that's Nike and Artifact bringing that to you. So I don't know who paid for this, if it was Artifact or Nike or how that works or anything like that. But I do know they're both fully represented and in an unbelievable way. Look at that. Boom. Yeah, incredible. So this kicked off the whole situation and the whole change in the sentiment for the Artifact Clone X ecosystem, because people started to actually believe that Nike was in it to win it. So there was this, and then there was also another great marketing effort here is the 3D or the AR posters. So you know, pull up your phone, check out the poster, boom. This is what you're seeing. Looks like a 3D physical shoe is popping out. And it's also got a cool element, like environmental element on the poster itself. And that doesn't this just get you so fired up for the AR movement that's coming up? And I'm happy as a Clone X holder too that Artifact is already this far ahead of the game, because that's not even here yet, and they look like they're already ready for it. And also, hey, in June, I believe Apple is going to be coming out with their VR headset that has AR pass-through on it. If you don't know what that means, they have cameras on the front of the VR system. Those cameras see through almost like eyeballs, so then it allows you to see your environment clearly. And then you can add AR elements to your environment. So while it's not true AR in the sense that we wanted to see it, where it's just glasses, this is a headset you put on, but it still functions very similar to how the AR glasses would. And what is exciting about that is we know that Nike worked with Apple on the release of the Apple Watch with the Nike Sports Band and the running app, as like a killer app to get people kind of motivated to purchase the watches. So they have a good relationship, a good working relationship when it comes to releasing products and trying to have a killer app, really symbiotic and really nice. So maybe we could see something like that with Artifact, Nike, and Apple. I mean, why would Apple not do that? That would be so smart of them to get Artifact in here on this. Because I don't know if you've ever seen it, but like Artifact has done some unfathomable AR examples, prototypes. It's on their Instagram. Go check it out. I was actually pretty deep into the Artifact ecosystem before I even checked it out. And then once I went there and I saw it, I was like, oh my God, this is unreal. Because the items, like the shoes, they look like they're really there, but they're not there. Like it's so photorealistic that you would think the thing is there and it's not. So that would be such a killer app for Apple to say, hey, put on these glasses and then you're going to look around your room and you're going to see these shoes and they look like they're actually on your table, but they're not. And you won't even be able to believe it. That'd be a killer app for Apple. That'd kind of blow people's minds, and they're familiar with Nike, and then they get to see Artifact and like these cool elements and stuff. Like, why not do that, man? That seems like that can move units, if you ask me. So anyway, I'm excited. Here we go. Now let's check out the Gaisai event itself. Look at this. This is like really, really futuristic. Great style here, whoever set this up and coordinated the event. I love the lighting throughout. It just looks super alien-ish or just like from a different planet. Those cases are immaculate with the lighting that's perfectly highlighting the Air Force Ones. Then you have the Mint Machine, with just super imaginative and a great interactive way for the audience to be part of the experience. And they have a chance to win something that could honestly be pretty life-changing. And we'll talk about that in a second, but let's just look at this a little bit more. Yeah. Wow, they did a really great job here. It looks kind of stunning, It's got that feel to it that when you show up at the event, you're going to be really excited. So that looks great. But let's talk about like what you could win in the actual the Mint Machine. So I don't know why, but the animation over there on the Mint pill, on the Murakami pill, is a little freaky. But so let's just look at the flower blade first. Great design. Look at that. Gosh, just the rendering, it just looks real. But I believe that's a silver one. There was 3 rarities: silver, gold, and crystal. All that have a different limited number, and you could sell that for probably some pretty good money. But you never know what kind of utility is going to come down in the future. Is there going to be some 3D files for it? Is that going to be something that you could use in a game eventually at some point? It looks a little bit like a weapon. So, yeah, that looks great. So that was something that you could come away with. You definitely get one of those, either a silver, or gold, or a crystal. But you also had a chance to get that pill. And oh man, if you got that pill, That's a big deal. I think there was one winner at the event, and the winner actually, that was like his first NFT ever. Got the downloadable wallet. Boom. Wins the pill. Probably didn't exactly know what was going on, but he won this pill, man. I don't know how valuable that pill is going to be. But what does it give you? That's going to give you a unique background and also a customization of an item that's done by Murakami. So that sounds super valuable. I don't know how intense the customization is going to be. I mean, are we talking like a color variant? For instance, if you have a octopus hat, is it going to turn it a different color? That would still be cool. I mean, you'd have a one-of-one octopus hat. It almost puts you kind of in helmet territory where it's like a one-of-one helmet or something. But what if it's even crazier than that, and it gets really wild with the customization? I mean, it kind of is bringing me to like the mutant serum, the mega mutant serum, and those were going for like hundreds of ETH because it's a super rare item, and it had like an element of surprise to it where you didn't know what kind of mutant you were going to get. This right here, there's only going to be 5 of these pills. It could really lead to something pretty unique. And so what I would just say, like, is if you get one of these, you might just want to hold tight for a sec and kind of gather yourself, talk to some people who know what's going on, and try to properly value that, because who knows how much it could be worth. There's only 5 of them, and there's some people that have a lot of money in this ecosystem. They might want to deck out one of their highly valuable grails, and they might pay a lot of money for it. I don't know. So I would just say, hey, congrats to whoever gets those, and congrats to the person who won it. That was pretty epic. So yeah, Benoit had a thought about it too. He was responding to itswayne.swish. Itswayne said, if Artifact won't give me one, I might as well make my own. And then Benoit said, by the way, the pill has been designed by Takashi himself and brought to life in 3D by Artifact. But that's pretty cool, right? Because anytime Takashi touches anything, because he really is a legendary fine artist who's respected around the entire world, and for being one of the best in ever, basically. You know, he's a prolific, legendary. So anything he touches is a huge deal. And so that's why the pill, I mean, it's going to carry a lot of weight. They're going to be giving 3 of those away to the community, letting the community decide and vote who they want to get the pills. So we'll see who gets those coming up soon. Then there was the Twitch presentation where we had Dre Mill. He was out here interviewing the team.
Very smart guy. So thank you for organizing all this.
But he was just doing a great job out there. Dre killed it. Excellent job on the interview, and the team. It was just really smart of them to come out and just talk and communicate to us and let us know. Just connect, There was definitely going to be some questions. People definitely were going to wonder, hey, what's going on with Animus? Because, the Animus was on the actual poster. So there was definitely going to be some questions around that. And they came out and they talked about it, which was great. Because we definitely wanted to know. But yeah, I wanted to give a lot of props to Dre. And I know Compound was there in spirit too. The Bad Take crew was out here in full force. And Sir Snapback was on the production as well with Cass. And I think Cam was in there too on one of the cameras. I think there were some other people too. I'm sorry if I'm forgetting your name here or not mentioning you. But those are the people that I heard about. And they did a great job. This is kind of benchmark-ish right here. It's so weird because we have a lot of crazy capable people in Clone X, whether you're a visual artist, musician, or you're working in directing or production, interviewing or whatever, man. We got people that can do everything. So if the team ever needs anything, we probably have somebody that can do it and do it at a really crazy high level because everybody's real motivated. So yeah, this was really cool. And, they got into Animus here, which, it was amazing to hear the team and stuff. Like if you're looking for just like straight up new alpha type information, the majority of it came by way of the Animus stuff here. One thing that I thought was really cool, and I didn't know this was necessarily happening, is that Chris and the team, they were emphasizing how Takashi is really all over this Animus project. I don't know why I thought this, but I thought it was going to be more just like the team doing it. But no, it's Takashi is all over this. His fingerprints and everything, they're working with the team. He's definitely in on this, which, gosh, that brings a lot of value, again, to Animus. More than I thought was going to be there, honestly, just because, like I said, one of the most recognized fine artists of all time is in here. So, yeah, it's a big deal. And here you can see the Animus. And, before we'll get back to that in a second, I just wanted to point out that there was a tweet from Chaz Forsman here, and you can follow him at Chaz Forsman on Twitter. But he put out a really great tweet here, a closer look at all of the Animus teasers from Artifact Gaisai official event in Tokyo. Unofficial naming by me. So Chaz went through and he basically took screenshots of all of this, and he highlighted all of the Animus and put them in groups. And it's just really a great thread. So what I would suggest for you is to follow Chaz and then go find that tweet, and you can really see these up close and personal. I'm not going to sit here and steal his thunder and go through his whole thing, but I just wanted to give him some props because I thought it was a really helpful tweet. But what we can do, if you want to take just like a little bit of a closer look, we can just look at some of the things that we're seeing here. So, yeah, there's so much to take in. And, are these things going to be based on DNA? Like, I'm looking around here. I don't see a ton of clear hints that this is definitely going to be based on DNA. Let's go a little forward here. Like, clearly you see the Murakami right above my head there. Let me move over a little bit. So, yeah, you can see the Murakami there. That's clearly DNA. But the other ones, I'm not seeing necessarily clear signs. Okay, so like here, maybe a little bit more. You can see some reptiles, like in that shark, looks a little reptilian. On the bottom right, he's got a little bit of a reptilian vibe to it too. I don't know. I mean, they look really cool. The designs look great. But yeah, I don't know. I want to believe that they're going to be tied into the DNA. I think that would be fun, like if you have the space pods, you got the incubator and you got the hibernation chamber. If you hibernate like a reptile or a Murakami DNA, and then you put an egg in the incubator, maybe you can affect how the egg is incubated and what kind of DNA comes out of that. There was talks early on that the egg was linked to the clone in the contract when somebody analyzed the contract. So maybe you get in the incubation chamber with your DNA, you throw an egg in the incubator, bam, bam, bam. That Animus turns into whatever your DNA was, and they're linked to each other. Hey, your guess is as good as mine, but they're looking good. The Animus one looks more, or the Murakami Animus looks, I guess, a little bit more developed than the rest. Maybe it's some way, maybe it's like a next level. Actually, I don't know. I might be speaking out of turn there, because when I look at the rest of them, if you try to just focus on just one, you can see that they're all really detailed. It's harder to notice when you look at all of them because you get a little distracted, but if you kind of zone in on one, you can see that they're more detailed. So yeah, they're looking good. You can see like a lot more purple here. I don't know how that would tie in really, or if they're going to be able to do the DNAs. We'll see. But with the way that Ben said for us to be patient, that almost had me thinking that we might not be seeing these, okay? Like if I had to guess right now, and I could be wrong, okay? Look, I think I would rather be wrong and just put a guess out there. But don't buy anything based on my guesses, because I'm not a financial advisor and I definitely don't know. But I'm just guessing. I would say we're probably looking at like Christmas for the Animus. I could see, like an Animus Christmas kind of vibe and stuff, and they usually like to bring things out around the holidays, and it would be a cool way to celebrate, especially if, like, for some reason the Animus had something to do with space pods, because space pods are typically an event that happens around Christmas, or there has been for the last 2 Christmases. So yeah, maybe it's an Animus Christmas. Then again, if it happens next month, I wouldn't be surprised either, but my money would say it's probably around Christmas. We'll see. So, yeah, that's basically it for this. But, hey, props to everybody involved. To the Bad Take crew, to Dre, to Compound, to Sir Snapback, Cass, and Cam. I'm going to give props to Chaz for the sweet thread. And props to Ben, Chris, and Steve for coming out and dropping another just stunning event. Developing probably one of the best marketing campaigns of all time. I mean, when we look back, that billboard was a huge deal. The event was a huge deal. They killed it. So, all right. Well, now that we have covered the Gaisai event, let's move over. Let's go with LeBron. Let's dive into the LeBron section now. All right. See you there. Okay, so for our second piece of news that had everybody really hyped across the NFT ecosystem, it all had to do with this shoe. Right here, this is the AF1 Genesis. Artifact Nike. This is the Genesis right here. So, like, if you just had a clone, you could mint one of these Genesis. And it just happened to find its way onto LeBron James' feet. On his way to one of the biggest games in the, I don't know how many years it's been, but this series is one of the most anticipated series, the Golden State Warriors versus the LA Lakers. The Battle of California, and then you have these 2 legends, Steph Curry and LeBron James. And that's not to take away from Anthony Davis or Klay Thompson or Draymond, but Steph and LeBron are like, they're unbelievable, right? So who's going to come out of this with the championship? It's a huge battle. The teams are pretty evenly matched. Everybody in the world is going to watch this series. And then LeBron is choosing to wear his artifact AF1 Genesis on the way there, knowing that there's going to be a ton of cameras everywhere on him. And you know what? Hey, that's a smart move by him, because those shoes are completely rare. he got seeded those shoes. Like we talked about that. Like Artifact did give him those shoes. But as we said before, there's no contractual obligation for him to wear those shoes. He just did it because they're super sick and they're completely rare. I mean, I don't even know how many people even have those shoes right now in the world. Probably under 10. So he's got some of the most rare shoes in the world, and he's wearing them right there. And, you know, Artifact came right behind him, right behind the Lakers. And that was from the Lakers account, by the way. That got 468,000 views. So that was on the Lakers account. And then Artifact tweeted right behind with a little bit more of a close-up on the shoes. Now, I believe that when you get the Genesis shoes, I don't think they come with white laces. They put the white laces in there. Honestly, that might be the look for those because it really pops off of the Clone X RFID indication in the corner where it just says Clone X right there. Yeah, so it's going to really pop off that. So, yeah, those are super rare shoes. And you have one of the greatest athletes of all time sporting it in front of everybody in the world who's looking at him on his way to one of the most hyped games in the world. So that's super sick. And it was weird too, because like right after that, we saw this tweet, which I did not expect to see this. This is kind of a surprise. It's like it was almost orchestrated or something. I don't know how this worked, but this is Zap, and he's saying, we got on board the legend King James to Artifact with his one-of-one Clone X. So let's take a closer look at the one-of-one Clone X here. This is what it looks like. So that's, you know, that's the LeBron James, the Chosen One crown, which is a one-of-one trait. And then the beard, which I think that's a one-of-one beard too. I don't think there's any other beards like that in the collection. So yeah, you can see behind them right there. It looks like they're presenting him with one of those 3D looking glasses that lets you upload a 3D file to it, and it kind of looks like a hologram in a way. You can even have animations or anything on that. That might be one of those. It looks like it. And then on the screen behind him, you can see that it says it's a unique one-of-one Chosen One crown. And I believe that's the Artifact COO right there, Nick. So we got Nick, LeBron, and Zap. And doing big things right there. That's a huge deal. So that was a pretty timely tweet, right? Right after the other tweet that we got. It was just like, whoa, what? Because I think we were all kind of like, is it real? Did like LeBron really get that clone? Or did they just kind of put it out in the ether like he could have this clone or something? But it turns out like, here it is. Here's the handover. So that puts all that questioning to bed there. So yeah, I think that, I mean, that's really it. You know, it's just, the really cool thing is LeBron is a gamer. You know, I mean, he is kind of, his ethos really seems like in line with Artifact, because we're a bunch of people that, you know, there's a lot of us that love sport culture and a streetwear culture. There's a lot of gamers in here and fashionistas and people that just love technology and progression and trying to push things forward in positive ways. That all seems like really in line with LeBron. And, you know, if you're a gamer, this really could turn out to be like the most epic video game of all time. You know, we could just be slowly building out to the best game of all time. That, you know, there's sporting elements to it. There's just like battling and sports and just culture and just like lifestyles type stuff. It could just be really sick. And if he's going to have a one-on-one, that's a fun thing if you're a gamer to know that you can have some one-on-one element in some completely sick video game. So I don't know, fired up. Everyone's happy. It kind of brought to life a lot of the people that were kind of hating on our team for a while there. Now that it's like, oh, not only is Nike doing like the billboard and the Gaisai event, but now you got like people like LeBron representing it in public out here LeBron's a tastemaker. When people see LeBron wearing those shoes, I mean, I don't know how much LeBron's worth, but he could basically have any shoe in the world, obviously. He could have somebody make him a golden shoe every single day if he wanted and wear that shoe. But he's wearing this. And I'll say it again. The team did say that they did give this to him. They seeded it to him, but he didn't have to wear it. He just did because it's super sick. So anyway, that's the LeBron news. And now for the third and final segment, let's just take a quick look at the Season 1 forgeables. All right, let's go. All right, so now for the third and final part of this video, the Season 1 forgeables. So, yeah, there was this really cool little animation here of the delivery bot going out, and you can see, boom, shipping begins. I love these little animations. I mean, gosh, look how much work is involved in that. It looks like a like a short kind of cool thing, but look at all that, the rendering and everything in there. Oh, it looks crazy. But yeah, so anyway, Season 1 forgeables are inbound with just like back-to-back information, right? I mean, boom, the Gaisai. Then boom, here's LeBron. And then, oh man, here we go with the forging and everybody getting their forgeables. So, I don't know. It was really cool. I saw, like Locked In right here. He had a really cool breakdown on his stuff. So yeah, you can follow him at Locked In 1000. And I just thought it looked really cool. Like, what do you say? Forging Season 1 arrived and it's on point. Undead socks and reptile socks and shirt are my favorites so far. Yeah, a lot of people loving the socks. I've been hearing that all over the timeline too. Pretty crazy, right? Like, packaging on them looks really cool too. But yeah, he's got the sick Murakami shirts and stuff. That's a lot of gear, but just shows up all at once. I cannot wait to get my stuff. I don't know when it's going to show up, but yeah, it just looks really cool. I mean, from what I've heard, it's just all super really like high quality materials. Again, it just has that like heavy feel to it and just a super high quality. So I don't know how many teams are delivering like this. Like, this is just delivery nonstop out here, and like we have like the crypto kicks in real life. That delivery is coming up pretty soon also. So we're just like a nonstop train of delivery, whether it's delivery in terms of marketing or delivery in terms of connection with famous athletes or delivery in relation to physical items actually showing up. I mean, that's just what we have going on right now, and I'm loving every minute of it. So there is that, but then there was something else I want to talk about too. Without the clothes, I can't really get too far in to the forgeables, but all I can say is from what I'm seeing on the timeline, everybody seems really happy with it. Some people were kind of making fun of the white Murakami drip hat at first, saying it looked like a dad hat. But now people are seeming to turn around on that sentiment, and people are really liking it. So that was a welcome surprise. But I wanted to bring up something that Crypto J brought up. Oh, I gotta move my... Okay. So, Crypto J mentioned, and some of you may have seen this too. I missed this. And I don't know if you have to have a Murakami to have seen this message, or if I might have just like, when I forged, just clicked everything on the AF1s. But check this out. On the 5th bullet point, it says, if applicable, I agree to to the Murakami user experience notice for the Nike AF1 Murakami drip DNA. Man. So thank you, CryptoJ, for noticing that. You can follow CryptoJ at CryptoJ2285. So, you can speculate, a Murakami user experience notice. I agree to the notice, is what that is suggesting. For the Nike AF1 Murakami drip DNA. So, a Murakami user experience related to the shoes. I guess we can only speculate here that this means you're going to be able to wear the shoes to some place and be let in, possibly based on the verification of your shoe, into a experience designed for the Murakami DNA Air Force One holders. That could be the case. But it says if applicable. So maybe that's just something that they're reserving the right to host or to have. Just like, hey, just in case, we want you to agree to this because this is something we're thinking about, but who knows if they do it really. It could just be something like that. Or it could be completely dope and you end up in some Murakami designed room and get something cool or a cool experience. So, yeah. Anyway, good luck on that, CryptoJ. So, yeah, so, I think that's about it, really. So, thank you so much for joining me on episode 17, the Gaisai Mint Machine. It's been a lot of fun talking about all this stuff. There's been a lot of speculation and everything, but I don't know. We have a bunch of really cool things happening. The momentum seems to be shifting and turning around here, and we got all of this great promotion, more synergy with Nike. We got major athletes representing the branding and the clothing. We have some new look at Animus that really opens our eyes, and check out that tweet again from Chaz Forsman. And then where's that going to go? When's Animus going to land? We got the crypto kicks in real life coming out soon. Man, yeah, there's just a lot going on. Ben today mentioned that the Rimowa delivery is not too far behind either. Are there any items inside the Rimowa cases? Like that mimic. It looks like there's some kind of an animal in there. Is there other animals in the other ones? Is there anything in them? Or what is it? Who knows? So we got Rimowa coming up. We got the crypto kicks in real life coming up. I'm sure we're going to find out more about Animus very soon here. I would expect that we're probably going to hear some information at some point about the incubation and hibernation aspects to the space pods. So there's a lot to look forward to, and I'm hyped. Once again, if you can, like and subscribe, and your support means a lot to me. Thank you for being here when when the channel's still new, relatively speaking, anyway. But I really appreciate your support. So you're awesome, and just please don't forget to go news yourself. Peace.